Hello friends, and welcome to today's video. My frustration level is about here right now. Technology and me are not agreeing today. I have sat down and filmed this video already. I was very happy with it, and then my stupid computer won't import it from my phone. So it's kind of fitting when I think about it, and it's kind of funny when I think about because of today's book that we're going to talk about. Today's video is on the book Chasing Love by Kat T. Masen. It is a love triangle, and it is also a best friend's older brother type romance. And there's infidelity in it. So you know how I feel about that. I've talked about that before. I steer clear of books that have cheating in it. It's a trigger for me. It's hard for me to read. But I really enjoy Kat's writing. If you remember, recently I read Arrogant Aussie and I did a video on it for the Cocky Hero Club. I will include that in the description box below. I have also read another one of her books called Kicking Reality. I like the way she writes. I'm part of her Facebook group, and I knew that she had put out there that she was kind of redoing this series and given them all new covers. It's a 4-book series. It's called the Dark Love series, I believe. Yes, Dark Love series. Chasing Love is the first book in that series. There's something about this that drew me to wanting to read it. You know, I talk about wanting to push my boundaries as a reader, so I will pick up a book that is from a new author, a different subject matter, whatnot, and dive into it so I can expand my horizons. I have tried to do that before with cheating. It has not worked out well. There was just something about this book that was telling me I needed to read it. I actually reached out to Kat herself and said, hey, can you tell me a little bit more? She was so nice about it. We talked about it a little bit, and I decided to give it a try. And let me tell you, I'm so happy I did. I highlighted the heck out of this book. There was just so much that I connected to. And if I'm being honest, that's why infidelity in books is hard for me, is that I've had experience in relationships with it, and so therefore it just takes me back there and all those feelings, and so that's why it's hard for me. This book was different though, and I think, well, I kind of know why, but let's just say it was different for me. I knew, and it kind of cemented, you know, I've kind of talked about in previous videos about signs and deeper connections to books. And in chapter 3, almost right away, Charlie, one of the main characters, said something, and I was like, yep, there's my sign. I was supposed to read this book. And this is what she says. Each time I experienced a level of discomfort for trying out something different, I always try to remind myself why I push my boundaries. I push my boundaries as a reader because I want to be a better reader. I want to experience new things through reading. I want to see different perspectives. I want to hear from different points of view. And I knew when I read that, there started my connection to the story. This book is told by both Charlie and Alex's point of view. They're the two main characters. I love that we got both of their points of view. They've known each other forever because Charlie is Alex's sister, Adriana's best friend. So they've known each other forever, but there comes a point where Alex is back from college. He's newly married. Charlie's grown up a little bit. They run into each other at the hallway at Adriana and Alex's house and are like, oh, wow, we've both grown up. The book begins in the present day. We find out shortly, because like I said, it goes back and forth between past and present. We find out pretty quick that they haven't seen each other for 9 years. There's been no communication. Obviously, I'm not giving too much of a spoiler in telling you that Alex and Charlie end up having an affair. It broke my heart a bit because Charlie was so young. She was a senior in high school. Alex, he was a little bit older, and, of course they both knew better, but circumstances were the circumstances. I found myself accepting Alex's excuses and understanding why he was drawn to Charlie. I liked him. I wanted to not like him because he's kind of a jerk. The present day Lex is a jerk, but we know why as we read the book. He does not enter into this relationship with Charlie frivolously. He understands his vows. He knows what he promised to do, but he's not happy in his marriage. Though his wife is different. It's a new marriage. She's changed completely. She wants things that he's not ready for. She's changed her tune as far as things go. They're not connecting anymore. He's not happy really with his job so much. There's a lot of factors in. He's not a happy person at that time. And Charlie comes back into his life again. Charlie is a young woman, and this is her first love. She gets smacked upside the head with Alex, and she feels so attracted to him and falls for him really hard, really fast. I understood where they were coming from, but I did also keep waiting for that horrible, sickening feeling that I get with infidelity to happen. I love the path that Kat put us on in finding out the things that we needed to know about their story, and when we find them out. We know that they did not have an amicable breakup. We know that they haven't seen each other in 9 years. There's no reason for us to think that they would ever run into each other. But it's interesting that as far apart as they seem, they're acting very much the same in their lives at that moment. Neither one of them has settled down with anybody else. Neither one of them has had any, real long-term serious relationships since their relationship. We know that Lex's marriage has ended. Like I said, he's kind of a jerk. And we know that Charlie hasn't given herself to anybody else. And we kind of know why, but it was interesting to listen to her thoughts about all of that. In walks Julian. He's exactly who you would hope for if you were Charlie. He seems perfect. He is smitten. They have chemistry. They like each other immediately. He just seems amazing. And yet, the concrete brick, impenetrable wall that Charlie has up, she's holding back. And there's some things that she said that I would like to share with you. I've always loved the banter between us, never taking our relationship too seriously. It's one of the best things about our relationship. The butterflies over such simple conversation, except tonight, my happy butterflies are battling, or more like knocking the living shit out of the nauseous ones. I'm not doing anything wrong, so why do I feel guilty? We laugh as we dance, his body against mine. I close my eyes, enjoying this moment of bliss. Make this work, Charlie, I keep chanting in my head. I deserve someone who will love me and only me. Charlie has incredible baggage left over, and something that I heard her say and felt in her words over and over again was that she was second best in her relationship with Alex when they were younger, that he was married. He had somebody else that he had to put first, his wife. She always wants somebody to put her first. This is something else Charlie says that really affected me. Lost in this moment, filled with promises of a new life together, I smile as I hold on to him. I need more than anything to feel wanted and feel loved. Julian is offering her the fairy tale. It is right in front of her. So of course, cue Lex walking back into her life. I didn't want to like Alex, but I did. They are both shell-shocked when they run into each other. They can't believe they're seeing each other again after 9 years. And it was interesting because this book took me through so many emotions, and I felt their tension and their sadness and their yearning and their indecisive, oh my gosh, like, what are we gonna do about this? I felt all of that so perfectly, which is what helped me get through the really hard times in the book and overlook the fact that there was infidelity. Because, you know, it's in the beginning and then it's through the book. And you can use your imagination with that. But something that really hit me profoundly was how Lex was so, I have to make this right. I have to make sure she understands where I'm coming from. I have to get her back. I've never gotten over her. And he is like, not that he's nice, because he's very domineering and he's very alpha and very possessive of her. But yet he was so hell-bent on her understanding where he was coming from and what happened. And Charlie, is like so angry and so hurt, and it comes out explosively towards him. And I understood where she was coming from. Their interactions are filled with hurt, anger, passion, devastation. I mean, just so many emotions. And every time they had an interaction, oh my gosh, my stomach hurt throughout the whole book. They have Charlie has some great friends. I loved them. And it's very obvious who is Team Lex and who is Team Julian. And it was funny because she also has a good friend, Eric. And he was like the comedic relief that I so desperately needed in amongst all of this emotion and heartbreak that I was feeling. Eric was hysterical, and the stuff that came out of his mouth, oh my gosh. And I want to read you one of the passages because it was so flippin' funny. So this is Eric talking to Charlie. All I'm saying is that every time you're near him, your tatas jump for joy, your beavers singing celebration, and I swear I can almost hear a gospel choir singing hallelujah. This is the kind of stuff that he said. He was hysterical. And then something that her friend Nikki says, which I highlighted as well, which really made me stop and think. Hesitation is a product of fear. Because of course, Charlie's fear is all over these pages. She's afraid to let Julian go. She's afraid to let Lex in. She is afraid. And let me tell you, when Nikki said that, I was like, yep, there it is. That I understand. There were a few other passages that really moved me that I'd like to share with you. The first one is from Charlie. The memory comes barreling in like a cyclone ready to destroy. How easily you forget. How easily the pain subsides by the touch of his lips on your own. He broke you, Charlie. Broke what you had, even though he promised never to hurt you. He chose someone else. I need to hurt him the same way he did to me. Oh, isn't she right? I understand what she's saying. And then soon after we get Lex's point of view, and this is what he says. Our worlds have reversed, and there isn't a damn thing I can do about it. Oh my God, the tension, the emotion. And then lastly, this is the one that broke the dam. This is where the tears, I had been on the verge or one coming down, and this is the one that made me cry. It's from Charlie's perspective. Well, you know what? She starts, her eyes burn with a raging flame. Since you asked the question, here it goes. It took me 2 years and 26 days after you left me to be able to kiss someone else. Exactly 3 years and 86 days since the day you left me to have sex with another man. And even then, every person I was with, the whole 5 of them, was to escape the very effing shitty hole you left me in. It affected me so much because, and I'm very lucky in this department in that I married my first love. And our relationship is not perfect. Of course not. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But when you have that great first love and you give it your all because you have no idea how not to, and that person takes that love and tarnishes it with whatever it is that they do, to then try to love again is the most brave thing. And whether it's the same person or somebody else, it's the most brave thing that you can do. So when she said that, oh, yeah, see, I'm getting teary now about it. I understood her 100%. And just so you know, and Kat reminded me of this to start with, that this book ends in a cliffhanger. So I knew that going in, but cliffhangers, we love them and we hate them, don't we? Thank God this wasn't the end, but yet, oh my God, where she left the book, holy crap. You're gonna wanna buy both of them because, well, of course you wanna buy the whole series actually, but know that it has a cliffhanger in it. I will definitely be bringing you the rest of the books in the series, so make sure you're on the lookout for those videos. Let me know if you have read Chasing Love or what other books of Kat's you have read. I invite you to come over to my social media, which is Kat Reads Romance, on Facebook and Instagram. And then I also have a private Facebook group, Kat's Romance Readers. I would love you to join. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. See you soon.